are watching the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. As usual, we are powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. If you're someone that's into the scene, the restaurant scene, you're into hospitality, you want to know what happened last night at that big event in New York or in California or in Vegas, you want to get information on the next big convention, you own a restaurant, you want to get information, you want to start to study about the new piece of equipment that you want to buy, look no farther than Hospitality News Magazine. Today, I am truly honored to welcome Chef Martin Yan, who has inspired me from a very young age. This extraordinary chef, who is the host of more than 3,500 culinary and travel TV shows, the author of over 30 cookbooks, is one of the most recognizable Chinese-American icons in the culinary world. With a career spanning over 4 decades, his award-winning public television series, Yan Can Cook, has introduced generations to Chinese and American cuisines. He is an active international food and cultural ambassador. Chef Yan, who has received many awards, including the recent James Beard Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022, is also a tireless promoter of social causes, and his passion and love for food and cooking is unparalleled. He believes food brings people together, food breaks down barriers, and food helps us respect and appreciate each other. I'd like to welcome today Chef Yan. How are you, sir?
Truly an honor.
Oh,
I'm so
no,
glad to
come
meet
on.
you and all your fans and all your listeners and fellow chefs.
You know, when I was a little kid, my mom told me I would sit in front of the TV shows, and like obviously I wasn't little when I started watching your show, but you know, as a little kid, I would watch Julia, I would watch The Galloping Gourmet, and you know, I don't even remember it, you know, but like I said, my mom would tell me. But when I started seeing your show on PBS, like I every time I hear your name, every time I see you on something, I remember that you were just so entertaining and funny. I remember one time you were like, at home you walk, and here I'll talk, together we walkie-talkie. You remember that?
Yeah, of course. You know, that's fun. You know, the kitchen should be, whether it's a professional kitchen or a home kitchen, it should be a happy place for you and the family to enjoy. If it's too boring, nobody will want to be a chef. Nobody want to stick around the kitchen. Kitchen is the gathering place for the family.
You're right. You know, I mentioned that I've been watching you since I was a kid, but you're a pioneer when it comes to cooking shows on television. And I guess you've seen the progression, obviously, from public TV to things like the Food Network and, you know, television shows and reality shows. And listen, there's not a TV show on television today that, you know, doesn't have a chef personality on it or, you know, mentions where the guests were eating at a restaurant. You know, what are your thoughts on the progression of this industry?
Well, the thing is, you know, first, you are what you eat. You eat well, you're happy, you're healthy. And I think, as I mentioned, food brings everybody closer together and break all the barrier. And we're all friends, no national or international boundary. So food is actually a galvanizer, is a connector. And that's the reason why I think food is very important in the social fabric and also among friends, family, and the community.
How did this journey start for you? Were you approached by, you know, PBS, or was this something that people around you said, you know what, chef, you got to be on TV. You got to be someone out there kind of telling people. I mean, how did that start for you?
Well, actually, first to give you a glimpse of my background. I was born, I grew up in Guangzhou, China. When I was young, when I was a little kid, my father had a restaurant in Guangzhou. My mother runs a grocery store. So even in my young age, I'm already pretty familiar about what is good, what smells bad, what's spoiled, and also the different variety of ingredient. a different kind of soy sauce, a fermented black bean, a black bean, salted black bean, hoisin sauce, and different kind of vinegar, rice vinegar. So I get a head start um, before I it was even grew up to be a teenager. And then I left when my father passed away. I left China in a young age and went to Hong Kong. And I happened to be going to high school and work in my distant uncle's restaurant. So I have a lot throughout my whole career, my life. I have been able to be in contact, in connection with food. And then it just happened. I was in the right place in the right time. I was when I went to college. I don't have any money, right? So I teach cooking class. I teach Chinese cooking class, Asian cooking class to make money to go to college. So I finally get graduated with a bachelor degree and a master degree from food science department at UC Davis. They are one of the best food science department and also viticulture and enology department. A lot of winemaker graduate of UC Davis. So I was very fortunate. Then at one time, I was fortunate to appear on television in a local television in Calgary, Alberta. Just appear once. They asked me to come back, and I appear one more time. They offered me to do 130 shows. And I just happened to be in the right place in the right time. And I was very fortunate. I was the first Asian American to host a daily cooking and travel shows. And we produce 130 shows a year, not 13, not 26, 130 episodes. That's the reason why in the last 46 years, I have done over 3,500 cooking shows.
It's
I
amazing.
was very fortunate.
I mean, how did you know it was so important to like teach us in this country about, that style of cooking and those style ingredients? Did you know that we were all deficit of that? We didn't really understand it. I mean, Chinese food to us in this country was probably like 5 different dishes, 30 years ago. Now it's obviously
Right.
so much more.
Well, there's a lot of misunderstanding and mystery about the concept and the impression about Chinese cuisine. They think Chinese cuisine is very complicated, very hard to do, and it takes too long. And then, in fact, when I first started, my friends and my roommate and even my girlfriend told me, "Nobody gonna watch your show. Don't waste your time." And I told them, I said, "If nobody watched the show, I'll call up all my relatives and friends in the U.S. and they're gonna watch the show." But I think the key is um, America. Everybody know is a melting pot. People arrive from different part of the world, and they came over here, bring their culture, bring their cuisine, bring their heritage, bring their lifestyle and taste bud. So they are probably more diverse culinary, ethnic culinary eatery than any other country in the world because America is an immigrant country. So if people come, if I can introduce them not only to food and culture, so this way they connect. When I first came over here, like you said, 30, 40 years ago, it's only chop suey chow mein,
That's
only
it.
Cantonese style chop suey chow mein. Now you got Peking duck restaurant, dumpling restaurant, Sichuan hot pot, Cantonese seafood restaurant, all kind of stuff. So I think it evolved, and a Chinese and an Asian cuisine has become mainstream. At last count, pre-pandemic, there are over 52 Chinese eateries. There are 16,000 Asian eateries. So put together about over close to 18, 18 I mean, 80,000 Chinese and Asian eateries, more than all the fast food chain combined. So now
Everything
become
combined,
mainstream.
yeah.
Everybody eat out. Yeah, everybody eat out. So I think my journey has been a long and winding journey, and not everything is smooth riding. Just like anybody's profession, just like the economy, just like politics, just like anything else. But I persist, and this is my mission. This is my love and passion. That's why I stick around.
like what after writing 30 cookbooks? I mean, what inspires you to continue to this and continue to write new recipes and continue to inspire other people? You're a machine, chef. You're a machine.
In the past, I would travel out of 365 days. I would travel about 250 to 275 days. Just like my dear friend Anthony Bourdain, he just passed away. We lost an iconic culinary giant. And we travel so much. When you travel, you face to face with the local home cooks and master chef. You learn, you work with them, you learn from them. So each time I learn something, I put a book together. And throughout the last 46 years, uh, I have done probably 15, 16 series. And all of these series are basically featuring either the cuisine of Japan, the cuisine of Korea, the cuisine of Malaysia, the cuisine of Vietnam, Thailand, China, Taiwan, and Chinatown around the world. So when I came back, I would put all this recipe and all the travel photo and video together. I'll put a book. So when I had done it for 46 years, and each 2 years, I would come up with a cookbook. Each 1.5 to 2 years, I will come up with a cookbook, a companion cookbook to my television series. That's the reason why I've been able to write up so many, because I already collect all these recipes and I learned so much from all the local chefs. So it's not all from me. It's all the recipe that inspired by home cooks, by chef in different country. When I go to Thailand, I eat nothing but Thai food. I'm not going to go over there and get a hamburger or hot
No,
dog or Chinese
no.
restaurant. I eat Thai food. I go to Korea, I only eat Korean food. Go to Japan, only Japanese food. This is how you learn because you have to submerge yourself to really dig into it, to really feel the spirit, the essence, and the spirit of that cuisine, which is derived from a long development of anthropology, culture, and topography. And each country produce different type of vegetable, different flavor profile. Go to Japan, a lot of they have all kind of stuff like the fermented bean curd, fermented fermented soy sauce, miso, all kind of things. And China and Korea, they have their own miso. They have their own fermented bean sauce with tiny bit of chili. So traveling, there's a Chinese saying, travel 10,000 miles is better than reading 10,000 books because you
Wow.
see it. Seeing is believing.
That's like a fortune cookie, what you just said.
Yeah, definitely. You open it up, you got to inspire. You got to inspire. So that's why, and also I have a very good, well-heeled network and people working with us, and they are a Western chain. Some of them went to CIA, Johnson Well, and also Liquid and Bloor around the world. So we're neighbors, and they always come up to me, give me some idea. So nobody can be very productive, can be the genius unless you have teamwork. Just like you have a team. You have audio, it's people remind you, and your chef, you have a chef team, and you cannot possibly do so much by yourself. So teamwork is very important. Just particularly in the hospitality industry, it doesn't matter how good you are, you cannot do it all by yourself.
Never said any better, chef. We're only strongest as the weakest link, and when I'm in the kitchen, I don't even refer to it as a team. It's always family. I talk about it as
Yeah,
family, family meal, family this, family that. How's the family doing today? And I think that a happy kitchen and a happy bunch of people. There's nothing. The food it could never
definitely.
be better. Never be better. That screaming chef. I think that's something for the TV and something something for people to watch. But when the chef is a kind and nurturing person, those are the restaurants that I love to eat at the most.
Definitely. Well, the in the last, particularly after the pandemic, even pre-pandemic, I've been very much involved in the community. See, what makes America a great country is the spirit of generosity, the spirit of community, in the spirit of sharing. That's the reason why, in the church, you go to church, you share your good fortune. You go to a fundraising party for less fortunate people, you share your skill. Just like American chef to go to Africa and cook for the African country for children, and I do the same thing, and we do a lot of. But my focus is not the museum, not the ballet, all kind of thing. But my focus of helping the community is for seniors, because the aging population, a lot of senior left out. So I show them how to cook, how to eat healthy, how to stay active, and also children. I do a lot of children's event. I travel around the world, particularly Vietnam and Philippines. I do a lot of fundraising for orphanage, for the victim of earthquake or flood. So to me, America is the symbol of generosity, symbol of community. And that's what makes America so strong and so powerful, is the spirit of community. And when you have good, when you have enough, you have plenty, you share with the less fortunate people.
Wow. Well, God bless America, huh, Chef? How does your celebrity help you with social causes? Do you feel like being a celebrity, it gives you a leg up to work on social causes? Has that helped you?
Well, definitely. You know what? When you do one event, and then you have about 300, 500,000 people. For instance, this weekend I'm doing an event, and literally I do about four major events a month, and a lot of them raise money. In fact, by last count, since the pandemic until now, the fundraising event that I get involved, not because of me, but because I'm part of the event, we raised well over $25 million.
Wow. Amazing. Well, Chef, I really, really respect you and appreciate you for spending time on the Go Cry in the Walk-In podcast. I'm sure you've never made anyone cry in the Walk-In, Chef, but
You know,
I'm glad.
you know what? The one of the funny thing is, like you said, you watch my show. What makes me continue to work is continue to propel me and push me is, when I travel, I bump into a lot of ordinary people, ordinary folks, and they share with me their lives, their personal story. They talk about the personal story very emotionally. Like, so all the time I say, oh, my grandpa, my grandmom was so sick, they're miserable in the hospital. But when they on Thursday or Friday, when they watch the Yankee Cook show, that's the only time they smile. And then
Wow.
sometimes I bump into young chef, and like you, a chef and a hospitality professional, told me, it is you that I watch, and your positive attitude that inspired me to become a chef. So when you hear about this, you know that it doesn't matter how little the impact that you make, the dent you make in somebody's life, however small, however little, that you know that you um, giving back and you're inspiring people, and that is enough to continue to push me and to keep going. Because, like what Oprah Winfrey said, if you love what you do, if you are passionate about what you do, you do not have to work a day of your life. Just like you, Chef Cello, you love what you do,
Yes,
and you
sir.
love to share. That's why you do the podcast. So
Yes.
by sharing, chef, we love to share. You don't cook for yourself. You
No.
cook for people. You cook for your family. You share your skill, your experience, and your passion. And you and I have been doing it for a long, long time. The Yankee Cook Show alone is 46 years old. One of the longest continuous running show by far anywhere. So
Yes,
we
sir.
started with Julie Child and Graham Ken. I'm still around.
You're still here, brother. You're still here. Well, again, I can't thank you enough. And I want everyone to remember, you're watching the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo. You already know. I want to give a special shout out to Mike on the boards tonight. And check us out on YouTube and check out my Instagram page at Chef Cholo 8. Peace.